Well, last month here on Seattle's Morning News, we had the good fortune of chatting with supremely talented actor and comedian Jeremy Piven. And during that interview, he said, "Hey, I'll stop by the studio when I'm in Seattle at the Neptune for my show."
Boy, was that a mistake.
And I said, "That's not going to happen. No way." And sure enough, by the time I got back up into the newsroom, it was booked. We had to, your people had to reschedule a couple of times. Our people did the same. And here you are. Welcome back to Seattle.
It's good to be back. Yes.
You have roots in Seattle. You've done many movies here.
Yeah, I've worked with the great Cameron Crowe, who, this is definitely his muse. I've even done videos here back in the day. I've gotten kind of blackout drunk here, let's be honest.
And you're here to tell about it.
And we're here to tell about it. Yeah. This is just an incredible town. It's, it's right now, there's nothing better than sunny Seattle. Nothing
beautiful
in the world. It's incredible. And, we romantically look to Seattle with all these great rock musicians, and there's being from Chicago, and growing up in the theater and Second City and sketch comedy, and we have our guys that we love, but there's so many greats that have come out of Seattle. So I'm at the world famous Neptune Theater Saturday night.
Have you been able to check it out yet? It is really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get in there. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, people don't really know. I just filmed my stand-up special at the Vic Theater in Chicago. So now people will know that I do stand-up. But now they're going to have to take the leap of faith.
This is not a new thing to you. You did stand-up long ago, right?
Well, I feel like I've been doing it my whole life. I've only been touring since 2017, but I've been doing comedy. Feels like since I came out of the womb. And yeah, I've always been trying to get my jokes in to everything I've ever done in my life, and now I have total freedom. So it's kind of amazing. You got to make your own breaks because no one is coming to save you.
That is true.
Tell me deep. Let's get deep.
Let's not. So we talked to you right after you filmed that special in Chicago.
Oh.
How has it changed, and how has it been on the road compared to that show in your hometown?
Everything you do affects who you are and how you show up, and I love just walking around town and getting a sense of wherever I'm at. I got off the plane last night from Boston, and I just immediately started walking the streets. And I will say,
in disguise?
No. It's all good here. People are very sweet and genuine, and your homeless are way too good looking. They look like Jared Leto. I can't tell if they're in a band. I don't know. Well, you could play a game here. Are you in a band or are you displaced?
You've been in a band too, right?
What
have you not done?
I know. I haven't. I haven't. I played the drums, and I played the drums my whole life, and I love doing that. And maybe I'll find some local musicians, and we'll.
Go do some busking at the market.
No, not well. That's actually not a bad idea because I do, believe it or not, I do hand out flyers on the street. People don't believe that I do that, but
flyers for your show or something else.
Yeah, flyers for my show. It's not a wet T-shirt contest that I'm performing in on the 12th of Never. No, this is for my show because I come from Chicago, the stage where I grew up in a non-for-profit theater, the Piven Theater, where all the kids to this day are on scholarship if they need it. And so I come from a theater and acting and artist family that, we're not in it for the money. We do it because we connect to it and we want to do the best job that we can and hopefully teach some people along the way. And I remember seeing my father backstage, back in the day with a rotary phone, and the way that he would advertise was going through the phone book, literally, and just calling people and inviting them to our shows. So the fact that we even have this forum to talk about it is a gift. The fact that people know who I am and I can hand out flyers and they go, "Oh my God, what are you doing in town?" That's a gift to me because people look at me and go, "What are you doing? You're handing out flyers?" And it's yeah, well, if the theater isn't completely full, I'll get it full by handing out. You do the work and you grind. I don't know any other way. But no, I'm not going to lie to you. It would be great not to do it.
Well, since you mentioned your family, I know you have deep theatrical roots, and I know you lost your mom this year, and I'm really sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
What would she be saying right now if she were watching your show?
It's funny you say that because I was doing some morning television and I saw one of the bits that they recorded, and she gave me this great note about one of the bits, and I use her note. And so she was always very realistic, and she could give you her honest take. You always knew, okay. And she would, slip in a note and you didn't even know you were getting a note. So she was always very confirming and supportive. And, we don't have a lot of those people in our lives.
That's true.
Which is, it's very difficult. And we need more of those people in our lives.
What's been fun about being on the road right now? Any good mishaps or anything to share?
I mean, I just feel like at any moment, things could go incredibly right or wrong at any moment. I remember handing out flyers, and I've been all over this country, and, I'm in this burger joint, and the woman goes, "Sir, can you sit down?" And I go, "Sit down, yeah." "No, you're standing." I was like, "I am standing. I'm sit. It's time to sit." And I sit down. The guy goes, "Bro, Ari Gold, bro, come here. And I go, "Oh, no, I got to stand up." So I stand up. She goes, "Sir, sit down." And then I sit down. And he's like, "Bro," and he's on me. And it's like, up here I was hated. Down here I was loved. You know what I mean? So it reminded me of Gavin Newsom's, go with me here. This is a stretch, but I just thought of this. In terms of the COVID and being, when you walk, his whole thing was, as everyone's was, when you walk into a restaurant, you're contagious. And so you wear the mask and then you sit down and you're not contagious and you take it off, You're not contagious. Happy birthday. When you go, oh yeah. And then you stand up and you're contagious and you put the mask on. So that's science. I was living the science of like, "Sir, you're the devil. You're an angel. You're the devil. I'm gonna workshop this." And then on Saturday night, this will be a banger of a joke.
Saturday at the Neptune.
Yes.
Got it. Since you mentioned Ari, I mean, if you walk through the newsroom right now, 95% of people are going to go, "Hey, Ari."
Yes.
How do you feel about? I mean, it's one of the most iconic shows or characters, I think, in TV.
Yeah.
The character on Entourage.
It's interesting because it's a real lesson in growing up for me because being just a stage actor, journeyman actor from the Midwest, and then to be mistaken for a powerful agent, who is Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel, who now captain of everything. He owns the WWE and the UFC and every three-letter situation out there. So he is the real Ari Gold, and I'm just an actor. So when they would show me, because guys want to show me their Ari Gold energy and let me know that they're a
do it too.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I love being yelled at, at the urinal in the morning.
Didn't need that picture.
Yeah, no, and so it used to like offend me, and I would have to like explain myself, and it's like that's the great thing about growing up. It's like, okay,
do you embrace it now?
Well, yeah, I was getting to it.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Off. How rude.
No, it's all right. You can, if you take a beat, I'll land the plane and everybody wins.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, what I was saying is, you evolve, and then when people say that, you take a beat and you realize, okay, what a great compliment that I played a character authentically. I was in their living rooms, and they believe that I am this character. So it was a great lesson for me as life is, in how to just kind of like let it go. And, it's okay if you're misunderstood. And, a lot of people, it's like, God, they have to be, I used to be that guy. I need to be understood by people. But sometimes it's better to understand than to be understood. I know you don't want to get deep and you would rather just cut me off.
Well,
listen, don't bring out Ari, because I will crush you.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
You have said the pressure is the privilege. And I like that. Explain.
Yeah. Well, pressure really lets us know who we are. And if you're in a pressure situation, that means that you have the ability, you've been in a position where you could possibly win and achieve something and evolve and learn more about yourself and all these great things, or completely fall on your face. But either way, you're going to win, because when you bomb, if you take that moment, that's one of the greatest lessons ever, because you can be taught theoretically what it's like to bomb, but you don't know it until you fall on your face and you're in a dive bar with 3 people that just don't want to see you at all. You know, the first time I did stand-up, I got up at the Dime on Fairfax, the hardest room in the country, a little dive bar, and I got up on stage and I said, "Hey, everybody, how you doing? You're probably wondering what I'm doing here." And some guy in the back goes, "Yeah, what the are you doing here?"
Bleep at the ready.
And I was like, "Oh, this is the happiest place on earth."
Ouch.
Thank you so much, everyone. And then I had to navigate the anger and how do you turn a crowd over and get them laughing who don't want to be there. They're angry, and if you can, because your whole body is saying, "Get off stage, get out of there."
Sure.
This is painful and humiliating, but if you can kind of breathe and let that go and fight through it, and then there's something on the other side that's it's a gift.
You know what I wanted to ask you about, because we talked about it briefly in June, and it sparked a comment about what would be my partner Charlie Harger's stripper name. So I remember it clearly. And he sends apologies for not being with us today. Apparently taking care of his kids was more important today.
Where are your priorities,
I
man?
know, right? But tell me a little bit more about the performance. This is, your sister was the director, and this was like a 15-year project. How do you stay focused on something like that?
You just, I have no, I'm, this will sound pretentious, but I have no choice. I'm not, if I gave up on the performance, the film, which will be out in October, if I gave up on it after 15 years, if I gave up on it, I'd be giving up on myself. And if you give up on yourself, you can't expect anyone to have your back. I mean, that it's a wrap.
You just knocked on leather. Is October hopeful, or is it surely coming out in October?
You know,
things happen.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew the answers to all that. It's and I think many people are going through this, where like you're in this nebulous space where it's like we're looking for something to click or some sort of certainty, and we're floating around. And so I don't really know. It's supposed to happen in October, and we're moving towards that. All I know is this: I'm very hard on myself. It's the best work of my life. I know that for a fact. It's the most powerful piece I've ever done. It couldn't be more timely. And it's going to spark a lot of very interesting conversations. And I just can't wait for it to come out.
Your range is so impressive. Are you still tap dancing?
I do keep my ankles loose. Do
you really?
Yeah, I tap wherever I can, because the reality is, I know when this film comes out, when you see it and other people in the media, when they see it, they're going to immediately go, "Let's see it."
Do I get a preview?
Well, I mean, I don't have any taps on, but yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I have loose ankles is I played the drums my whole life. And so on the kick drum, you know, like I could do triplets with tap, and people were like, "Oh, you're a tapper." I was like, "Oh, okay." Because most people don't have loose ankles. So I was like, that's my way in. Also, as a drummer, I know exactly where to land because I can, you know, count it out. So I'm like, okay, I could do this. So that was a gift.
When the stand-up tour is over, what's next? What are you reaching for next?
I don't know if the tour will ever be over.
Keep it going. The more you do, the longer you live.
Yeah. You know, both of my parents performed until they passed on, and you know, they were looking for a new role or a way to perform, you know, up until the end. I think, and this, you know, I don't care how this sounds, but I think if you're one of the real ones, you're gonna keep going because you wanna create and express yourself and explore. You're not clocking in. So they, you know, artists keep going. So I don't know when the tour will end. I don't know the answers to any of those questions. You know, once my special, once it's out there and people go, okay, this is what he does. But also, by the way, people, when they see me, and you love me, hate me, whatever, you think I could do it, you don't think I can do it, come to Neptune on Saturday night, and it's going to be my honor. And, heckle me, whatever you got, bring it.
I would have no doubt that you can do it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You can do anything.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's the spirit. But there are a lot of haters, and that's very motivating to me, and I hear it. I remember getting on stage recently, in this one comic, I don't want to throw any shade out there, it's not even right, but I heard him just say in my ear, like, anyone thinks they could do stand-up now.
Oh my goodness.
And the thing is, what's so empowering is it really inspired me as I'm getting on stage, because it's like, if you put the work in, as my mom says, the readiness is all. If you put the work in, then you can go up there and have fun. So I put the work in. I do 5 to 8 shows a week, 250 shows a year. I got up there and I had fun, and everyone laughed, and he had to follow me. And by the way, he never would have watched me. But because he was next, he had to sit through some hacky actor, doing his thing and making people laugh. And by the way, if you're an actor and people know you, they will be so excited to see you, and they will give you love, and then you better bring it.
Yeah.
And they say, they'll give you 2 minutes. Now they give you 10 seconds. Like, you could maybe just say something and they'll kind of give you a courtesy giggle. Then you got to bring it.
What are you most looking forward to about the show at the Neptune in Seattle?
I just love, the theater is my home. Nothing against comedy clubs. Love comedy clubs. But this is my home, and a beautiful theater like the Neptune is like, this is where I live. And so, we're just gonna, listen, it's one of those times where you can forget about anything that's going on out there. It's a bit of escapism, and I'll unpack some things that maybe, what's really funny is, like, I'm not afraid. I have nothing to hide. So I'm not afraid to address things that I see are funny. And there's certain things that I lay out that are just flat out truths. And then you may think, oh, okay. Oh, he's on the other team. Oh, he's not on our team. And it's like, well, hold on a second. I'm just laying out a truth, and everyone just laughed. Because that's how insane things have gotten. You know what I mean? And then so I unpack what I think is funny, and I don't care how, to be honest with you, how I'm viewed. It's my duty and my honor, and to respect the space I occupy when I perform, and to make them laugh, and to speak my truth. And the highest vibration is authenticity. Welcome to my TED Talk, everyone.
Before we go, well, I know they're going to give me the hook here pretty soon. I know you have a busy schedule while you're in town, but what's one thing you wish more people knew about Jeremy Piven?
Well, I think one of the cool things is, like, I used to wish that they knew more about me, and so they could I could be understood, and this is who I am, and I think that can be detrimental to anyone, because I think when you want something and you're coming from lack, then your vessel isn't vibrating high enough to be totally present and to be filled with what could come your way. This is turning into a spiritual talk, and I apologize. But no, so I think that, like, I think it's just, we just show up who we are, hopefully as present and grounded and authentic as we are. And the rest is, like, what can we do? It's out of our control. Stand up to me is a gift, because people get a sense of, like, I'm not playing a character. Like, as an actor, people may not realize I've kind of done, my range is, like, I played the gay Versace salesman in Rush Hour, and I played Ari. So I played Lloyd and Ari. And I could play, and I just played a British, I just did a horror film where I'm just like this killer who's British, and, like, And the best performance of my life is a Jewish tap dancer in 1937 that hides his identity to dance for Hitler in the performance. And people, the best reviews of my life, and they say he disappeared in the role, and I didn't disappear.
I
reappeared. That was deep.
Have your people given you much free time while you're in town to enjoy?
Not yet.
No?
Not yet, but I look forward to it. Yeah, I look forward to it. I mean, like, I think about all the guys that are from here, and that, like, that were brilliant, musicians back in the day, whether it ended tragically or they're still thriving. You know what I mean? So, like, and I just kind of look around and go, wow, okay, this is where it all started. This is where they grew up, because I was a huge Nirvana fan growing up and all that stuff. And I had one of the greatest rock and roll moments of my entire life with Dave Grohl where when he and I met, because I'm a drummer, but I was on my way, but I never fully went for it.
He did.
He really did. But he's also, I read his book, and he's also very humble. He spent some time in Evanston where I grew up, and we have similar roots. But I'm just such a fan of his journey. And he's very, he's reached these heights, and yet he still is very, very grounded. And when he and I, the few times we've met, he's just amazing to everyone, but he made me feel very special, and that there's a kindred spirit, and that, because I know that he does appreciate comedy, and so there was this love, and I ended up, backstage with him before one of his performances, and we just started, drinking beers and doing shots, and then shotgunning beers and doing shots, and then the buck knife comes out, and you keep doing shots, and then you keep doing beers, and I'm 177 pounds wet. Like, at a certain point, I've had, what in God's name is happening? I was sure, and he hit that stage and didn't miss a beat and crushed it. And I'm having trouble seeing. Like, literally, I'm blind out of one eye, and I'm trying to navigate. And this guy, he's a true rock star, professional, works hard, plays hard, and I saw it all happen before my very eyes.
I hope you have a fabulous time in Seattle, but maybe
I'm not done.
That much
I'm not done.
Another TED Talk?
No, listen, here's what's going to happen now. An Irish goodbye is when you leave without saying goodbye, and a Jewish goodbye is when you say goodbye and you never leave. I'm not leaving. We have another hour and 15 minutes of excruciating, viciously mediocre stories from television and films. Jeremy Piven.
You're fabulous, Ari Gold. I really appreciate your time.
Call me Ari!
Sorry.
What if after all that, I just
You just scared me a little.
Oh, he truly does suck. Oh, okay.
Award-winning actor Jeremy Piven, thank you so much. Nothing but the best on your tour. Can't wait for the show at the Neptune. 6:30, doors open here in Seattle.
I'll see you soon, everybody.